now?
Way better.
Going into day 2, we were a little bit skeptical. It was supposed to be raining in the morning, I think. Yeah, I mean, it stayed away all day, so that was good. It's always a pleasant surprise, but you gotta just plan for the worst and, you know, be prepared, you know, take your food and your drinks and clothes and things, you know, that way, if it does turn, you know, you're ready for it.
So we kicked off of Sand Dune Gulch. A little bit different terrain out there. The rock was more like a sand.
I don't know what, it was like being on the moon. I don't know what to compare it to.
It's close.
I've never been in a terrain like that before. It was a weird consistency. Everything reacted weird when you hit it.
I don't think we've ever been on anything like that. It's just strictly like hard packed sand.
Yes.
I think with the rain or whatever we had the last night too, it made everything look smooth. So as soon as you went on it, it broke apart and everything. It was interesting, for sure. It was kind of funny because our trail guide comes in and didn't really know what to expect, and he just kind of drops into the little canyon out of nowhere, and then puts us in a little canyon, tight little canyon to go through.
Now I get what Mark feels like. Yay!
And then you have your first obstacle, really, which is the slab mountain deal that, again, like you thought we would have grip with all the sand and everything out here, but you really don't. I don't know if it was a combination of where your tires hit or what it is, but you had to throttle it up a little bit to get up it.
You know, that first climb, you know, I thought we should be able to just crawl right up it, and really didn't. Had to get back and kind of send it a little bit more. It was kind of more being on a harder sand.
We need a one. Passenger.
Yep. I'm getting confused today.
It was super cool because like almost the entire day it was like we were doing climbs where some of them you had to bump it, some of them you had like you were squeezing through something and dropping down, and then you had to get back down all the way, and then just another climb. So
yeah, some of them you could crawl, some of them you had to get with it. I mean, yeah, it was lots of different elements today for sure.
we got through the first couple sets of those climbs and then drops. And Tim's like, okay, let's head over this way, and there's an optional I'm gonna show you guys. The climb looked really doable except for that one hole. And that hole, you could actually look at it, and it was tire shaped from years of people just trying that climb.
Yeah, it's been like machined down perfectly. Yeah, Alex did get up in there first, and you know, he got up in there and got set, and he got with it, and I think second or third attempt at bumping on it, it was there almost, and it just lost that little bit, and then it fell back down, and he tried working it around, and you know, inevitably it didn't work out.
When he was working it, he kind of got in that spot to where we ultimately winched him out, just to be safe.
He wheelied pretty good one of the times, or a couple of the times. That's kind of Alex's thing, though. I think he just likes
He was doing Alex stuff.
trying to show off, do kick flips and things, or whatever they do.
Andy got up in there, and when I was walking up next to him, and the SS Orlando It's a big Jeep, so he had to kind of swing left before he could swing back right because there was a kind of a rock getting up into the little cave thing. So he got lined up really good, but it seemed like that hole did not care how big you were, what size tire you had, it just sucked the driver rear tire in every time.
Back up and bump it right there. That's a good line.
I really like Liv. I don't think she's ever gonna ask to ride with me again. I could be wrong. We might need to get her checked out later because I'm pretty sure she had that harness on so tight that there was zero circulation flowing. I tried it 2 or 3 times in first, and then I got annoyed and said, okay, we're gonna send it in second. It's probably a good thing you were up there and said pull cable because I was going to go in third next.
I mean, we did drive it 15.
So right after we left that obstacle, we heard "Stop, Andy, stop," and then we got out, and he was, his control arm ripped right off the frame.
Rip the upper side of control arm mount off the frame and snap the coil over eyelet.
Breaking shit, Daryl.
That's rad.
Oh wow.
Oh, no,
It's like peeling it.
No, it pulled the frame rail. There's a big old hole in there. Hey, that's not where you're supposed to hide your drugs, Andy. We hooked up the winch to the lower side of the cage on the passenger side, and we were able to kind of just pull on the side of the body by the cage, and I got down in there and had them listening, got them to hit on the winch. Well, then it started pushing the bar forward, in turn pushing the frame back into where it needed to be. Again. Stop.
My professional opinion, he's broken.
Got under there with probably a 20-pound sledge. Tried to knock that bracket back over. I mean, it just had peeled it so far away that that's a metal thing, but we got it back as close as we could.
Smashed my exhaust tip.
That's the least of my worries. We'll get that fixed right back up so you can have all your horsepower back. Got out all the stick welding equipment that Trey's got and got in there and started gluing stuff back together the best we could.
Put together a kit specifically to where you could just pull a couple of batteries out and run. It's like 16th rod, which you can run with 24 volts. So I pulled my Odyssey out, and Jordan pulled his Odyssey out of Recoil TJ. You just series them together so you get 24 volts, and you just basically go to town on it.
We got our whole little kit though. We got our chipping hammer and our wire brush and our little goggles and welding goggles, not a full-blown helmet just for size, but.
Yeah, and I mean, you ran, what, probably 15 rods off the battery?
You know, I didn't even count them. You guys were cleaning all that stuff up as I was throwing them at you. I welded up the crack as far as I could with a little bit of rod, and then I needed material. So Andy ended up finding me just an old wrench, one that we didn't mind sparing to the cause of getting out. So got that wrench tacked up in there, and then I was able to burn across that crack and use our wrench, and he was able to drive it out.
We probably ran 15 or 20 rods and then put the Odyssey batteries back into the Jeeps and cranked them both up. Can't get my seats dirty with all of them. Can't use that. You're gonna have to wipe your own butt off though.
Come on!
Andy peeled off. We had a couple Jeeps that needed to get out, so they just went out with Andy to make sure he got out okay. And then, yeah, Tim just kept us on the roller coaster. More climbs, more drops. There were quite a few drops out there that were pretty steep.
I was in with Kim, and then we got on it. Yeah, we seen you. Yeah, lift tires up, gas on it, roll out of it. So then, yeah, Kim kind of freaked out. He's like, what is that? Because we couldn't see, because I mean, a lot of out here is you go up real quick and then it's instantly right back down. Keep those out from under the brake.
I remember, okay, so after that, we kind of just did some little 2 tracks to get to the next part, which was not far away. As soon as you're in that canyon, there's like probably 190 different ways to get out and get back in. It's really impressive, and it's just crazy because it's just in that section, which isn't really that big. We kind of cruised around, found another spot to kind of pop back up and over the little canyon. And I thought I would belly out because I'm low. And I think with the 42s, it was nice because I was a little bit higher up, and it just bounced right up over. And then everyone else kind of went through that. I don't think really very many people had issues with it, except Jordan. So that's why we left him behind.
You guys put me to work.
Yeah, that was funny.
I had to winch him out.
We tagged you in.
We did that in Moab too.
You guys are just trying to leave this guy dead in the trail.
Jordan was last out of their group, so he kind of got the brunt of everyone digging it out a little bit and kind of kicking out all the rocks that were probably stacked up at the bottom too. So we all got to the top and watched Jordan get stuck and just kind of pointed and laughed. And after that, we decided that Tim, our guide, would go down and help him winch him up over it. And I think the difference with Jordan, besides the fact that it got probably a little bit more dug out and the rocks were kicked out, with him being, again, longer than me, still on 40s, he's super low. Just keeping up with this trend throughout the weekend of just constantly trying to drive off cliffs for fun. It was a pretty gnarly downhill section. You don't see where you're going for starters. At the top, I don't know if most people saw it, they actually put 2 yellow lines. There were 2 spray painted lines kind of telling you to keep straight on it and where to point your tires to go down it, because it is narrow at the top. It kind of like crests in the middle, but it still tapers off on both ends.
So we're just kind of working the roller coaster around. There's a bunch of good climbs and then some drops. And so we kind of crested and we started headed back towards the blacktop because we need to finish up for the day. So we came around the corner, couple more drops, and then we got to a left-hander that was a nice solid drop.
So that downward, that's one trying to get squared up on, and I didn't feel like I was square at all going down it, but it's definitely foot to the floorboard at the brake and trying to just first gear, low gear, but they're steep going down.
So we got down off of that one, and then you kind of swing left a little bit, and then you come back in right, and there's a ledge that it was more like a ramp wall kind of thing, but there were like enough holes on the driver's side to where it wanted to suck you left.
Honestly, the right side, the more that I looked at it, it was just a pretty casual uphill. You just had to keep momentum on it and kind of keep wheel speed on it. I didn't do that. There was a hole on the left, and I kept hitting the hole to where I was picking up tires and turning and facing ways that I shouldn't be facing, to ultimately I was probably 10 feet over of the actual line.
not just like that, but
The obstacle itself is like a two-step deal. You have your first bottom section to where you do have to have some wheel speed, a little bit of horsepower to kind of bump up and get to it. After that, you get to the top section, which is kind of like a V-notch, and you have to put your tires in good enough areas to where it doesn't pick up the front right. Trey went right after. Trey had no problem. I showed him how to do that one right too. Granted, he's on stickies and has shovels for tires. And then we had our friend here in the TJ that had a little more excitement than everyone else.
That was our last obstacle for the day. Josh from South Dakota, it was actually his first crawl. Yep. He just found us and came out. So he got on there in his TJ and he got up there and he was doing kind of a similar thing to what Alex was doing and kept picking up the passenger. And then at one point, it just picked it all the way up.
Of the SS Orlando and Captain
Well, and luckily there was all them guys standing up there, because once it kind of relaxed for a second, quite a few people grabbed it, put some hands on it to keep it from moving, and he did a good job sitting in it and staying calm. And
so, I mean, we got him hooked up with the winch and pulled the front end down, and it really didn't take much to get him back over. I didn't really have to stand on the brakes or anything like that.
Yeah, once you got him sucked back down, and then he helped it up, and I mean, probably within a foot or two, it was on its own again. So, yeah, that was a good save. I mean, by all parts, I think.
You feel a little better now?
Way better. Driver.
So we had everybody come back. We met back at the gun club where we were doing staging all weekend long. When we looked at the weather first thing this morning, it was looking kind of iffy around barbecue and raffle time. So, you know, we went and talked to our trail guides. The folks over at Anarchy Off-Road were gracious enough to open up their shop.
We're doing barbecue right now. Immediately after that, we're gonna give away some cool stuff from all of our partners.
I had a little one that was sick, so I didn't get to enjoy the trails today, but I heard a lot of fun things. But he started feeling better by the afternoon, so we caught up with the group and was able to help out with the barbecue and to see all the fun with the raffles and the exciting wins.
All right, guys, next one is going to be that Warren Xeon winch right there.
and you get to carry it.
All right, guys, next one is going to be for any set of wheels up to 20-inch from our friends at Dirty Life.
Oh, hey. Wheel.
All right, anybody need some new tires? Yeah! Next one is for any tire from Mickey Thompson up to 40-inch, full set.
Hey!
That's it.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Day 2 was good. No, I mean, it's always an adventure. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, you never know what we're going to be up against. You can hope for the best, you can plan for the worst, and you know, it is going to be what it's going to be.
Even with all the drops, it was stuff that I was a little more comfortable with. So I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I mean, good obstacles, All the trail leads were great. Everybody was super helpful, super friendly. It was a great weekend.
Awesome trail. I mean, great obstacles. Like you said, there's different ways you can go. So I mean, you can bypass stuff or hit everything you want. But there's a lot of good obstacles there.
I would definitely like to come back again.
So, you know, a huge shout out to all the guides and gunners that came out to help us at this event. I mean, just a fantastic group of people, and just to help with everything. I mean, like just organizing stuff we needed at the grounds, you know, and then making sure we were good for everything. And, you know, we had the permits and all the proper paperwork and everything in order, ensuring everybody got off the trail safely and everybody had a good time. And, you know, we had a full game plan, you know, a few weeks in advance, and then the weather threw everything off. And I mean, those guys all got together and changed everything up and got it done pretty much on the fly. And you wouldn't have known there was any hiccups at all, because I mean, it all seemed to flow pretty smooth.
So if people want to get involved, if they like what they see in the videos on YouTube, they can go to greatamericancrawl.com. You can sign up for any of our future events. There's a link to the store to buy merch. Check that out, and we'd like to see you on a crawl in the future.
Our next event will be at Black Mountain in Kentucky, and the last time we were there was 4 or 5 years ago. We definitely didn't have the build that we have now, so we're excited to see what it can do and what trouble we can get into.
It broke on what side? Over here? I was looking at this here, where it broke. How does this fucking work? I keep throwing fucking rice on it, and it.
Did you? Not that one. You're supposed to use brown rice.
Oh.
Shocks are brown rice. Everything else is white rice.
So this will work on the weld.
If you fry that, fried rice might work.